right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Rita Fleming. I'm one of your co-hosts, and I'm so excited about this call and this transformation that we're going to be talking about today. I'm excited to introduce my co-hosts, Gage and Bob, and we're going to be hearing some inspiring and transformative stories about courage, and also about inner and outer transformation. And we're also going to be speaking to our high performance transformation program that's designed to help individuals achieve peak mental and physical performance. So I'm going to pass it first to Gage. Gage, I'd love to hear a little bit of your story of transformation and the ways in which you're passionate about helping people. So welcome, Gage.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I want to give a shout out to you guys for having me on. This is a great opportunity. So a little bit about my backstory. 2 years ago, I started training MMA, which is mixed martial arts, and I received a rib injury. So I broke ribs number 6 and 7, lateral side on the left side of my thoracic cage. And that kind of prompted me to go into a recovery process. So initially, I just wanted something to help with food because, you have athleticism with exercise and nutrition and recovery, and I've been kind of not doing so well with the nutrition and recovery. So I found this, the ULT program with collagen, and the collagen is helping me create some more collagen in my body to help with my rib repair. So yeah, that happened on November 30th, and it's been having some amazing benefits. I didn't have the confidence to go back into training unless I got into these superfoods. So I did that. And then I went back into training and I saw some immediate improvements. I want to say within maybe 3 days to a week, I started seeing some improvements. So my respiratory health has improved. It seems like I feel more oxygen entering my alveoli. Maybe my lung capacity is going up a little bit. The big one's the cardio. So usually how the training sessions work, 2 hours, and at the end there's a 30-minute block where you do sparring. And that's how I got injured, just because I wasn't eating properly, and you get gassed out, and basic protocols of defense kind of go out the window. Your hands drop and your torso leans forward, and that's whenever you get clipped and you get hurt, and that's what happened to me. So yeah, I got on the ULT program with collagen, and I'm working my way up to the performance package. So also the nervous system benefits, brain fog's going down. I'm quicker on my feet, literally and mentally, because fighting is just as much of a physical game as it is a mental chess game. So my footwork's better. Like I said, mental fog's going down. I think I can speak better now. I've had memory problems in the past, so I think that's improving as well. And finally, definitely the gut health. That's the interesting one, because I think the core 4 products are synergistically helping with maybe reduction in inflammation in my gut. And yeah, so there's that. It's kind of like clearing it out, and it feels really good. And I've been trying to work on my abs for 10 years, and I've never been able to see them, and I finally can. Never knew why. And I think it's that reduction in volume. So I can see my oblique wall now, and I'm just not getting gassed out, and trainings are going a lot better, and things are going a lot better. But ultimately, what I want to do, I'm data tracking everything that I'm doing. I made an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm tracking everything. And I want to bring that information back to the gym, not just the gym, but anybody and everybody who wants to get better with their health. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy like MMA. For example, my mom is seeing what I'm doing, and it's kind of inspiring her, and she's lost 15 pounds already. I've been helping her take some of the superfoods, and she feels a lot better. And another thing too is my sleep. I think this might be a collagen specific thing, but my sleep has been so much better because I've had circadian rhythm problems for about 10 years now, because I've been working days and nights. Used to be a firefighter, and you flip-flop back and forth with days and nights, and now I can sleep better, and I can just stay asleep, which is, oh my God, it's so amazing. But my main goal is to bring my story and my data log to people and help them. So I'm going to go back to the gym and relay that information to my instructor and the fellow firefighters. Fellow fighters, and basically give them hope, because a lot of times when people get injured in MMA, you don't see them come back because they just don't tell anybody, and nobody knows what happens to them. So that's kind of a big goal that I want to do. It's helping me, and I don't want to be selfish and keep that to myself. So I'm already helping 4 people. 4 people have been reaching out to me saying, "What are you doing, man? Like, what's your benefit? What's the secret?" Well, it's not a secret. It's just, working on nutrition and recovery, and I found a way. So that's kind of the big goal is, long-term goal is to help people and maybe be an influencer in that sort and to work on my own health. But yeah, to kind of transition into what makes a man beautiful and courageous within, I think it's 2 things. I think it's acts of bravery, and I think it's stoic thinking. So to differentiate bravery and confidence real quick, bravery is doing something whenever you have fear, and confidence is doing something without fear. So I think it's really inspirational when you see people do brave acts repeatedly because we see ourselves in that person and we kind of want to be that person ourselves too. So I think that's inspirational. And finally, I think stoic thinking is super beneficial as well, especially for leaders and leadership. So to quickly define that, the stoic person has a basic principle. We all have emotional stimuli, whether it's good or bad. So for example, if you get angry at a coworker, they say something mean to you, a stoic person would take a timeout and maybe say, "Hey, let's pause the conversation, come back to this whenever we're a little bit more calm, and we won't make a mistake, and we'll be professional and move forward." When I was a firefighter, that was a huge thing that they taught us, because you're in a lot of high volatile situations whenever you go to calls and stuff. So yeah, I think that's what makes a man beautiful. I don't necessarily think it's big muscles or big egos or anything like that. I think it's the intangibles like bravery and stoicism. Yeah, as a quick recap, broke my ribs November 30th. Found a doctor said there's nothing you can do about it. We can't repair those ribs because they're too close to your heart and ribs. So, I wanted to do something more. So I made a Facebook post, and I forgot what the post was about, but my friend Shannon, shout out to Shannon, she reached out and she said, "How about you try this ULT program?" And so now I'm taking the Core 4 products and all the good stuff, and I feel better. My skin's better. I've always had problems with like bags under my eyes. They're improving. So yeah, so much benefit, and this community is absolutely amazing. So if you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. Maybe if you want to add me on Facebook and message me if you're more comfortable doing it like that, that's fine too. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. My name's Gage Porkfield, and I'm happy to help. So I'll throw it back to you, Rita.
Thank you, Gage. That's so inspiring. You have an amazing story. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're inspired and lit up by Gage's story. And I love what you're showing. I feel like you're evidence of what's possible. We're getting lots of 2s in here. And that's so inspiring. And I love what you said about leadership and about courage. I also look up to people that are doing demonstrations and acts of courage and just showing up in that manner. And you're showing, others what's possible in their own bodies and their physical health and their mental and emotional well-being. And I love that you're working with your mom too. And shout out and congrats to her and her success and feeling better. And there's really such an important tie between physical health and emotional health. And you really touched on that, as a fighter, as an athlete. So much of what really distinguishes and creates an amazing athlete is not only that peak physical fitness and that ability to recover and that injury prevention, but it's also that mindset, that mental state. That's really the quality of our mind is what allows us to achieve such incredible things. And so being able to support that at every level, I love it. And I love your story. And I also see a lot of hope and benefit even in support for firefighters through this program, because so many of our firefighters are experiencing so much stress and helping people in such intense situations, and that can really tax our adrenal glands and create more inflammation in our body. So this program is also phenomenal for reducing that inflammation, reducing that stress, supporting our nervous system regulation, our emotional regulation. So just really endless benefits there. So thank you, Gage, for sharing your story. It's really inspiring, and I can't wait to see all the lives that you're going to continue to impact from here.
Well, thank you so much. Two of them actually are firefighters, and you brought up a good point. You know, they tend to have smoke on their, you know, on our turnout gear, and we take that to the bay and we don't wash it. So a lot of times that causes different problems. So yeah, this could be very good for them for sure. And I'll
Wow.
also tell my mom that you gave that compliment. She'll love that.
Yes, please do. Please send her our
I
love.
will.
And
I will.
do you have any favorite books on Stoic thinking?
Oh, yes, yes. So the Daily Stoic, my fire captain, he recommended me that book. I was bumping heads with one of the firefighters, and he's like, "Hey, man, read this book." So it's pretty cool. It's laid out like a calendar. I don't know if you ever had those like flip calendars where you rip off the thing.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
similar to that. It's in a book, and my fire captain, he told me that ever since he got the book, he reads it every day. Each day has a passage from a Roman emperor and what they've done, and it's really cool because you get to see like our lives and what we're living and the trauma or the stuff that we're going through is actually not that much different, even though we have cell phones and screens.
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool to see back and they're very brief, digestible daily passages from like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a few other people. So yeah, I read that every day, and it's kind of cool because when I read that every day, I know that he's reading that every day. So it's kind of like I don't know, a synergistic thing with me and him.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
it's the Daily Stoic. I'm not sure who writes it, but it's a pretty popular book. But yeah, the Daily Stoic, really
Mm,
good book.
mm. I love that. Thanks for sharing, and drop a 3 in the chats if you're inspired by Gage and his story and what's possible. And if you gained something valuable today, I know I have. And you also brought up another great point about accountability. And it really requires accountability to not only bring ourselves to our own greatness, but bring our community to their greatness. And through that accountability, that coaching, um, it just provides a space for so much success, being accountable to ourselves and others. So that's also what we're providing here. And thank you, Gage.
Well, thank you.
Um, Great, lots of 3s. And I want to bring on Bob next. Bob, I'd love to hear your story and a little bit about yourself, and also who you're inspired in helping. Hi, Bob.
Hi, how are you, Rita?
Doing
Thank you,
great.
Gage. It was really great. Let me see. Am I on yet? I think I'm on.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so I am inspired by Gage. I mean,
Well,
to
thank
get
you.
into a ring and really use all your physical strength to spa and kind of I think it's for fun, but it doesn't look like it all the time.
We
Anyway,
needed some injuries, yeah.
my journey with these superfoods started when Laura Guccione, a friend of mine that I've known for many years, she said, try a ULT or ultimate lifestyle transformation. Well, it took me a few months to get warmed up to the idea that I needed a transformation. I thought I was pretty fit, eating well enough, and, I had some resistance to change. What if I did change? I was thinking that my self-doubt, my self-loathing, what if that was, I'm still comfortable with that. Do I really need to lose weight? But when I looked in my closet and I saw the stack of 32-inch pants that I thought I'd fit in, and I had been putting them away for a couple of years. And then I put on my 34-inch pants and the button popped. It was pretty obvious. I went ahead, ordered the ULT, and paid what I thought was a lot of money, but I didn't really think so now. I mean, with a 60-day money back guarantee, no risk. So I opened the box and I was faced with the fact that I'm going to have to control what I'm eating. I closed it and put it under the bed. You see, snacking and eating hangry was what helped me to distract myself from anger and anxiety. I mean, what would happen if I stopped that? Would I be blowing up? Would I be nervous? Would I be able to cope? but my love in Laura and my belief in what she was doing, and the fact that ski season had just started, and I wanted to spend a lot of time on the slopes last year, I decided I would commit, pulled it out from under the bed. But I still cannot believe, I can let go of that belief that I was, not comfortable in my body the way it was. I realized it was just my small self protecting itself. So the box came out from under the bed. The first days were easy. I got it done, no problem. It was actually fun. Then I had a setback. I was angry at myself for not completing some projects that I had promised my friend and client to do. And I was afraid it was going to cost him a lot of money, put the schedule behind. So I went and got a bag of potato chips and gobbled the whole bag down. I felt defeated. I was ready to give up. But then I gathered my courage and I said to myself, I can do this for 30 days. I'm going to do this. I can control my eating. I'm bigger than my self-criticism, my perfectionism, my low self-esteem, my people-pleasing, and of course, those unacceptable emotions, which I had buried in my body for years, anxiety and fear. Have you ever felt left back? I mean, held back by your own thought patterns? If you've ever felt you are not worthy of your own self-love, have you been afraid of failure? I was definitely feeling these emotions. I thought about skiing and single track mountain bike riding. And when you look down the trail, smile, and trust that you can do it, then things just flow. Crashing, falling, and hurting yourself, well, they're not even part of that thought pattern. Of course, it takes years of practice, but it is the same thing with everything. Start with baby steps, take the easy trails, build up your confidence, smile, and be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself too harshly. So it was with this 30-day cleanse. Those first few days were fun, and I felt good about myself. So I remembered that. And then as days went on, it kept getting easier. I mean, I was feeling so much more energy. My pants were fitting better. I would not have to buy a new set of ski clothes. So that was a savings. But the most important thing was I realized that if I can control what I am eating, I can control my emotions, my thoughts, and my life. After 2 weeks, I was trying on those 32-inch pants. After 3 weeks, I was thinking about buying smaller ones. I had endless energy. My cravings for sweets, caffeines, pot, alcohol were all fading. I no longer wanted to drink those Red Bulls that I had relied on for skiing all those years before. I had so much energy already, I didn't need any more. I was waiting at the bottom of the lift for my buddy, Yukon, who I had struggled to keep up with for so many years. Then my morning walks up Bear Creek trails changed. I started running on the snow. I had never wanted to run. And at 72 years old, I did not think I could, but that was fun too. People I had known for 40 years were asking what was going on with me because I was looking so good. This encouraged me to do another ULT and then another. After 90 days, I was hooked on good eating. When looking at myself in the mirror, I could see a younger Bob. I felt it, I looked at it, and the compliments I was getting confirmed it. I was moving beyond the need to cover up my fear and anxiety with snack foods and overeating. I was told it takes 90 to 100 days to make a new habit. Being able to ski run after run all day long and no after skiing or exercise pain is so powerful. I realized that this was all in preparation for a happier, healthy, more successful life. It was well worth the effort it takes, and it's still worth the effort. I am so looking forward to every day to my aminos, green shakes, and the energy they give me. By the way, I purchased my first pair of 29-inch pants a month ago. It's a size I wore to Woodstock. Believe perhaps there's something you've been putting off, afraid of who you might become, and questioning if you could handle the good feelings and the way people looked longing at you. Are you ready to shed the shield you have put in front of you to protect you from your own fears? Find the strength you were born with, your birthright, your strength within. Tap into the little boy or girl you were when you got on that bike the first time. Have fun with it. Overcome your fears. I say, get courageous and go for it, and then enjoy the ride. The only sure way to fail is not to start. So I've moved beyond just the ULT, and now, before I go skiing, I will have some Can't Beat This. I mean, I'm into all the products. There's 60 different ones, but I have probably 6 or 7 that I really like. The Can't Beat This gives me endless energy. I take the Super Exantin and Super Lights before I go out skiing or biking, and that gives me a lot of energy. And when I get back, I have the MVP sports drink, and that revitalizes me, and I'm able to continue through the day and go out dancing, even though I put in 36 runs, 40,000 vertical feet. And I just feel so good, and I sleep well. So I recommend this to anybody.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Bob. What an amazing story. Drop a 3 in the chats if you're inspired by Bob and his story. And I can't believe it. You started running at 72. And you don't look a day over 50, by the way. You're
That's what
really
people tell
glowing.
me. I mean, even today I ran out to the gate, which is 1.5 miles, and it's like, yeah,
Wow.
I can do this. This is nice.
That is so inspiring. And what does it mean to you to come home to yourself in that way? Because I'm very inspired by your story.
I don't think I was ever here except when I was, a little kid, when you could do anything and you knew that the universe was made for you, that, you could, whether it was a fantasy life in my cardboard box or, or just looking at my family around the dinner table and going, why are they so afraid of what people think of them?
Right.
And unfortunately, I bought into it, and now I'm coming home to little Bob, and it feels really good.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, drop a 3 if you can relate to that. I know I can. Thank you, Bob. And thank you for your vulnerability and your courage. And I can also really relate to the piece on emotional eating. Drop a 4 in the chat if you've ever done that. Anyone? 1 hand, 2 hands. And, I used to have chronic pain, and that was my main coping mechanism, was food, because it would numb the pain and it would numb my feelings, so I wouldn't have to deal with the pain. And I used to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night because I had such chronic pain. And these superfoods were the first thing that brought me home to myself in 15 years. And I tried everything else. And I know what you mean about the presence too, when you said it's the first time I feel like I've really been here, or like I'm really home. I think that's really common. And I can just really relate to how the superfoods help me to be more present and more alive and more in my body. And when we're flooding our body with nutrient dense foods, which is actually a lot harder to access than it sounds, unfortunately, the majority of our food system is grown in nutrient deficient soils, and soils that have been overutilized or killed off by chemicals and pesticides. So actually getting living nutrient dense foods shouldn't be difficult. It is a birthright, but it is hard to access. So one of our goals here is just to provide that access in an easy, efficient, affordable way. And these programs, you get 2 superfood meals a day, and it's just $6 for an organic meal, which I know I can't find that where I live. Oftentimes it's $6 just to get a coffee at Starbucks. So, to me, it really saves me so much on my grocery bill. And I haven't felt that emotional eating in the last 4 years that I've been doing this, because I feel so nourished from these superfoods. And it was the first time too that cravings went away. So yeah, thank you so much, Bob, for sharing your story and being vulnerable. And I want to open it up to our community here for questions. But first, I just want to share, I'd love to invite you into this experience with us. If you or someone is just wanting to feel alive, really come home to yourself, have that vibrancy, whether you're working on strength and toning or mental performance for athletics, whether you're working on balancing those hormones and finding that emotional and nervous system regulation, we have an amazing space for you. So just connect back to the person that invited you, and they will share, all the information of how to get started. And we have a really beautiful container happening right now. It's our weekly accountability container. It's for our Beauty Within program. And that's the superfoods that Gage is really utilizing to help with that injury from his ribs and help with his recovery. So that's an amazing place to start, just to start flooding your body with these nutrients. And we have a weekly container with incredible modules that are all about, that self-love, coming home to ourselves and that acceptance. So we have beautiful guided support. And then we do have an incredible high performance athlete transformation program that is also available, that supports everything we talked about. So thank you, Gage. Thank you, Bob, so much for sharing your hearts, sharing your stories, showing us all what's possible. Like, I'm so inspired. Drop a 3 if you learned something new about what you're capable of, or about what we're capable of as humans, right? Because so many times in life, we're told that we can't do X, Y, and Z, and maybe we accept it. I was definitely told I'd never get back to normal activities after my injuries, and now I'm a thriving athlete. So, this is a great space to kind of break out of those limitations that we've either put on ourselves, or that stories that we've been told and we've adopted, and really step into our potential of what we're possible, what we can do, what is possible, and that is endless. So yeah, again, just to summarize, our goal here is really to help people thrive physically and emotionally. And I want to open it up to questions now. Any last thoughts, Gage and Bob, before I open it up?
No.
Okay.
I just want to say, Bob, your story is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing.
I want to hear what Laura has to say.
Well, I'm just like, Bob's story, that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was so beautiful. And I have to share as a witness, it's been a beautiful thing to witness. It's still going on. And it's so inspiring for all of us. So thank you. And Gage, I wanted to know, are any of your fights on video or YouTube, or I want to see you fight?
Well, I do. I do have training videos, but I've only been training for 2 years. Typically, your coach won't only put you in a sanctioned fight after you've been 5, 7, 10 years. I mean, there's quite a few levels of this. So I'm not at that point yet, but I want to be. That's more of a 3 to 5 year goal coming out. But I do have some training videos I could send you.
I would love to see them. Yeah.
I'll definitely. Yeah. Have you added me on Facebook? I'll definitely show you.
Okay, I will.